What is going on, everyone? I am Depraved Slasher, and we are back with another review. This is a video game review, and today we are reviewing, if you've clicked into the video, Little Nightmares. And Little Nightmares is a game that I had started towards the end of 2022, and then finished beating at the beginning of 2023. It is an adventure game made by Tarsier Studios, or developed by Tarsier Studios. It was a game that I bought on GOG, as well as its DLC, as well as the second one, combined in a package for much cheaper. And getting into it, I was actually, again, very skeptical. I get very skeptical in a lot of like indie developed games, because they're usually really short. Not very gameplay wise, they're usually pretty fun, but there's usually almost always it's a very short attention span type stories and stuff like that. So I'm not the biggest on indie developed games. However, I did thoroughly enjoy this. So this is Little Nightmares, and The Secrets of the Maw was the DLC that comes along with this. And one of the things with video games that I look for story, which is hands down the most important thing to me in any game. Gameplay being a very, very close second. I also look for if there's voice acting. If not even an issue. I also look for graphics. Now, when I say graphics, I am not one of those people that talk about how beautiful a game needs to be, guys. My favorite video game of all time is Earthbound on the Super Nintendo. Okay. That's not a thing. But graphics and how it pertains to helping tell the story that is being told. Okay? Is it an appropriate graphically to the story? So first and foremost, one of the first things I want to talk about with Little Nightmares, specifically excluding the DLC, is the story. And I'm going to tell you now, my biggest complaint with Little Nightmares as a game is the lack of any what feels like real story. You're a kid or thing in a raincoat that is basically running around trying to not be eaten. That is the story. It's a survival game. Now, obviously, it's also supposed to be like a nightmare or whatever. But that is pretty much the story. There's not much. There's no dialogue that really goes on. And it's just, not a whole lot of story going on. Once you start to get into the DLC, though, that's when things change a little bit in terms of what wowed me. Okay. Gameplay wise, very tight gameplay wise. It is a very fun, almost puzzle adventure platformer. The only parts of the game that I did not like at all are the same parts in every video game I have ever played in my life that I never like at all. There are a couple of water-based sections in this game. I hate water levels. I hate water-based sections in games. I always have, always will. It doesn't matter what game, who you are, how good your game is. Okay, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the original NES game scarred me. Pick any Mario game where you're doing your stupid floating in the water, running away from cheeps. The Water Temple in Ocarina of Time for Legend of Zelda. If water sections suck so bad, and this does have now the water section in this isn't super long, but my problem is like it slows you down drastically, and then you've got something in the water trying to eat you, which I get. It's just not very much fun in that section, but everything else super fun, super tight gameplay, absolutely love it. Gameplay wise, no voice acting in this, so we don't have to even talk about that. One of the last things that I had mentioned, graphically, this is a perfect setting for the type of game that they are going for. It almost has a 2D, 3D feel to it, where everything does feel kind of linear in terms of you're running left to right, right to left in the stages, but you are able to move front and back in the rooms that you're in. There's just like it's a fixed camera though, so you're not like swinging the camera around and being able to look everywhere. You're able to go and hide behind things, but that's what it feels like most to me. Is it does have that 2D, 3D, but more modern graphics than say something like Octopath Traveler, right? looks absolutely stunning. Love the dark atmosphere. The people that are constantly trying to eat you look absolutely disgusting in the best ways possible. Absolutely love that aspect of it. One of the other things that I also wanted to talk about, it's another minor complaint. This actually fits kind of in the gameplay department. The final boss in the game, to me, is the easiest boss in the game, which is always disappointing. I don't always expect them to absolutely be the hardest or the worst things to go against, but everyone else, like, it's the only one you actually have to fight and defeat, but escaping everyone else was a lot harder than it was fighting against this one person. I did want to go ahead and dip into the DLC and explain a little bit more. There's something towards the middle to end of the main game that has direct connection to what's going on in the DLC. Because the DLC, you're supposed to be playing as one of the kids that are captured throughout the game while the main game is going on. And the way they put that together was done so amazingly. So amazingly. When I got to the end of the DLC, and it didn't take long to get through the DLC, but when I got to the end of the DLC, it was a holy shit kind of moment. I'm sure whatever it was, what does happen went over some people's heads. I can almost guarantee it. But at least for the sake of this, excellent. I loved it. I loved the DLC. Probably more so because of the tie-in to the main game and the fucked up thing that happens in the main game that it ties into. I probably like the DLC for this game more than the actual game itself, but obviously you can't get that feeling without getting through the game itself. So I definitely highly suggest playing through the Secrets of the Maw DLC for this game. I hear the second one, story-wise, is much better, so I'm excited to eventually get to the second one. I don't know if it's going to be something that I play anytime soon. If this, if we'll see. And honestly, that could even be something that we look forward to in terms of people wanting to see more reviews on stuff like this. But I definitely highly advise getting around to playing Little Nightmares if you get a chance. If I have to give this any sort of rating currently, I would give Little Nightmares 3.5 out of 5 stars, or skulls. I guess we do skulls here. That's right. 3.5 out of 5 skulls. Alright, so with that being said, thank you guys for watching. We love you guys, and, like, sub if that's your thing. If not, whatever. We're still going to be here. So, thank you guys for watching, and we will see you next time. Take care.